To be or not to be? That is the question. We are finally on the last day of this 30-day journey, and I am Sophia Worrell. And thank you for letting me take you on through this informative and enlightening course. I hope that you are inspired with renewed vigor and understanding to go out and claim your God-given right to live and work with others in maintaining this great planet Earth. We have been affected by this infectious disease called the coronavirus and fear the transmission, which is still under investigation. Unlike that of a tornado, we know carries a violently rotating column of air between clouds and earth, or a hurricane with high winds and rain, or a snowstorm or blizzard that can come with low visibility, which are all seen by the eye, unlike this virus that we cannot see. The medical professionals warn that the droplets can live on surfaces or can spread from human to human through the mouth when we speak and discharge saliva, our noses when we sneeze, and our eyes if we touch a surface and rub our face and our eyes. We trust that when we cover our faces, that we are protecting ourselves from each other, as we are uncertain whether we or the other person is infected. So in order to slow the transmission, we are advised to wear face masks and wash and keep our hands sanitized. For the last couple of months, we have heard of the high death toll, and this has confirmed that there is something out there. But now the numbers are dropping every day with the warm weather, and we no longer want to stay indoors. This is understandable. But just as this virus is invisible, there's a force out there that we have heard of and have never seen, but have read about his son coming and walking on the earth and then transfiguring back to heaven again. Many of us believe these accounts as we read of them in the Bible. We who are Christians have faith in this intelligent force, who we believe created this world and everything in it. We trust the accounts that tell us that this is how the human race was started. When I was in college, I was taught many courses that reinforced my belief system. For instance, in physics, when I experimented with matter and motion, energy and forces that cannot be seen but was acted on, and biology and the sciences where I learned of the human anatomy, I was told that every single human being has the same organs and limbs in the same place, as well as astronomy with all of its celestial objects such as the sun, moon, stars, planets, comets, and galaxies. I could not help but surmise that none of this was random but intentionally ordered. The Big Bang Theory and evolution are the explanations given for how this world and creatures came into being, but no one could answer the question of how that first molecule came into being or where that first cell evolved from. No one could explain how everyone and everything is made up of the same physical matter, that of atoms, electrons, and molecules. We accept that the wind exists because we can feel it on our bodies or see its effects, even though we cannot see it. We turn on a light and electricity comes into play, yet we cannot see the electricity itself searching through the circuits. There's much discussion about when life really starts. Yet, if not disturbed after the sexual encounter between a man and a woman, and she misses her period, She and her husband are convinced that there is a life forming in her womb, although they will not see the evidence of it until 9 months later. They cannot see the fetus, although it is growing and swelling her tummy, yet they trust that there's a life growing inside of her. There's no tangible evidence except an image through the wonders of technology. For the next 20 years, parents have to invest in their children without any surety that that investment will bear fruit. There's a hope as long as the child is young, but as they grow up and become more independent, fear steps in as the child is being influenced by other stimuli in the world. We possess latent skills, gifts, and abilities that are placed in us to share with the world. They're hidden inside of us, deep in the recesses of the mind, waiting to be tapped into. Our soul lives when we seek out and are able to develop and execute our passion, and it dies a slow death if we take the path of least resistance. We are fortunate if we have the support of our parents to venture out and make a distinct difference in our community or nation. Before relocating to America, I worked with people with disabilities and found that when a person had lost their sight, ability to walk, talk, or hear, they felt as though they were less than human. I did not understand where this concept came from. They felt excluded, and it made me think about how they felt. There isn't any problem that we have experienced as humans that someone has not come up with a device or a way to overcome what is plaguing us. Right now, there's a race to find a vaccine for this coronavirus that is restricting people from coming into contact with each other. Although at this point there is no proven one, we are assured that the experts will find a way for us to eventually move around without the mask or face covering, and we will be able to end this social distancing dilemma. Just as they came up with a pill that people with HIV/AIDS can take, and it is prolonging their lives, and there's chemotherapy for cancer patients. The invention of a cane made the mobility of persons without sight possible. Wheelchairs were invented to assist people who could no longer walk, and hearing aids and sign language were created so that people could communicate. But people who appear to have everything intact also requires aids. Without parents, extended family members, or caregivers, how would little children manage? Without the institution of school, how could students learn and train? With teams, people in the workplace are less burdened and do not have to do multiple tasks. English author John Donne in his sermon stated, "No man is an island. No one is self-sufficient. Everyone relies on others." If only we can embrace this statement, we would respect each other and treat each other better. I had thought about someone needed to farm so we can get food, make clothes, and build houses. We cannot do all of these things ourselves, and we're not meant to. We are not different colors or cultures. We are all one people on this planet Earth. So far, in this course, I have presented the foundation on which we of African descent can build, and I gave a bonus by providing the framework as well. All that is needed is for each of us to fill in the gaps. Our MO as people of African descent is to tear ourselves and others down. We gravitate towards destruction and destroying of people, places, and things. But remember that I told you that the curse is over, and God has allowed this coronavirus pandemic to level the playing field, and the onus is on us to show what we are made of. There are too many people of African descent saying that our culture is the worst and cannot be fixed. there seem to be less who are doing great things, because so many who are not are in the face and proving these facts right. But that ends today. We are not barbaric. We are not illiterate or unintelligent. This course has taken the last of the excuses away, as I've presented all of the building blocks for this to occur. I want to thank you so much for listening, and I ask that you please remember to read one chapter a day. On the screen, you're seeing my book, Manpower. You can get it on Amazon, and let it be the beginning of you reading books. Keep journaling and making lists to organize your day. Keep working on your budget so you can manage your finances and organize your life. Remember, this is all about uniting, so date and get to know your spouse before engaging in intimate relationships. Do the opposite of not completing school and complete school and then go on to higher learning, because this allows you to specialize and build wealth, and so that you too can do something great and add to what is already here and leave a legacy for your children to follow. We're not here to take over the world. We're here to live in this world and work with our fellow men. I ask that you look out for future videos and tell others of this course. Listen to it again and again to help you along the path. And I look forward to hearing success stories. I remember why I did this. I did this for one purpose. Because there are many of us of African descent that are now being stereotyped with those who act barbaric and unintelligent. Their thug-like behavior is not what we want represented of our culture anymore. That is not God's way. That is not the American way. And it is time to build a culture that is peaceful, loving, and kind. Thank you.